Welcome back to the Second Half Podcast. I'm your host, Jabari Saunders, and we are back with another engaging conversation. First off, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Be sure to hit the follow button on all social media, Second Half Podcast. We got a special guest with this one. Not only is he one of Illinois' top 50 best players, Southside representative, played in the NBA 12 years, now turned real estate investor, entrepreneur, father, of course a member of the greatest fraternity on the planet, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, the tail dog. We got 12-year vet, Bobby Simmons, my dog. What's happening, man?
Good.
Oh, good.
What's
you
up?
already know. What's happening, man?
Nah,
I appreciate you jumping on the podcast. You know, for me, this is important to talk to so many other athletes, former athletes, current athletes, just about how you play the game, but then also beyond that, how you found success post-career. So I always like to start at the beginning, right? Where you from? Where did the story of Bobby Simmons, where did it start at? Where you from?
well, originally born and raised on the low end, 4414 and 3939 Lake Park.
Okay.
After that, went to Holy Angels, went to Doolittle. Then next, moved to the South Side, Altgeld Gardens.
Okay, all right. So what, of course, being on the South Side, we hear so much about it. You know, the news wants to tell one thing, the media, but growing up in that area, in that environment, what was it like for you? Did you have brothers and sisters, neighbors, cousins, all in that same area to kind of help your growth pattern?
Well, the best part about it, when you grow up in subsidized housing, as we consider to be the projects, it's a matter of your friends is your family.
Yeah.
And as you grow up, you grow stronger.
Yep.
You build that bond, and you have the opportunity to be resourceful within the community that you live in.
So as you were growing up, did you have any other passions outside of basketball, or was basketball your main focus?
Actually, it was baseball.
Oh, really?
I was a hell of a strikeout player. Nobody knew that. I just sit at the wall. Hey, I'm gonna cover the square.
Yeah.
Throw that thing. I'm about to crack it.
Yeah. You know, it's something I love about baseball is people, but honestly, to me, I feel like it's one of the most difficult games to play next to golf, in my opinion, because you're hitting a small ball at 100 miles an hour and you trying to crack that thing.
But the best part about it, though, it enhanced my hand-eye coordination.
Yes, absolutely. That's
the best part about it. So they'd be like, man, he about to shoot that motherfucker. I say, hey, I can make it from anywhere.
Exactly. There it is. Yep. That's the position I love. So as you're growing up, projects, baseball was a part of it. Who put the basketball in your hand?
Well, it was just something that we picked up because, if you knew the structure of how our projects was, it was one rim in each block.
Yep.
So now, by being one rim, you can't play with the older guys because you're too small. So we start creating our own little court. So we'll take the wood panels off the windows, cut out a crate.
Yep.
Take the horse nails, put it together.
Yep.
2x4. You know, it's like your grandma used to have the clothes outside to dry.
Yep. The line clothes.
So we'll hook it up there, raise it, adjust the height, and you start shooting on the crate.
And that was it.
And whoever had the small ball, he was the guy of the neighborhood.
Oh, man. So you always had the juice. You was always the dude if you had the ball. It's like, you coming outside to play. Now, if you get on punishment.
You going to let us ball it. I'll bring it back.
No, that's what's up. So that's how you started the game. When did you realize, basketball was something meant for you that you felt like, yeah, I can play this game?
Well, I think it was my coach, may rest in peace, John L. Evans. Just recently passed this year. But it was after he cut me.
Okay.
To be honest.
Okay.
5th grade, got cut. Because, there's so many kids that want to make the team.
Of course.
Because the team is everything in the neighborhood.
Yep.
And we had our 5 minutes. Everybody's just jacking the ball. I'm like, man, I ain't get a chance to shoot. I'm like, man, this is crazy.
You know, there's only one ball.
There's only one ball. You got to get in where you fit in. So it turned into, okay, I'm going to work my ass off.
Yeah.
6th grade, made the team.
Okay.
And after that, 7th grade, 8th grade, undefeated. We didn't lose a game the whole season.
Oh, wow.
So we won 2 districts and 2 city championships my 8th grade year.
Okay. Now, were you always, because obviously you 6'8", you know what I'm saying, were you always bigger than everybody, or were you just kind of?
So the crazy part is myself and Anthony Johnson, you know Amp.
Yep.
Amp ended up going to King. I went to Simeon. And we both was maybe, 6'1", 6'2", in 8th grade. But we were on the wing. And so it's like, okay, we shooting that thing from half. It's like, you know what I mean? Our power forward's name was Troy Flowers. He was maybe 5'8".
Yeah. Y'all shooting.
And we shooting.
And y'all, wow.
But they some dogs. They down there cleaning up everything. Him and my man Tim. Like, bro, those were the days.
Those were the days. You know, it's something about that when you talk about those were the days. You know, Chicago really does have a huge basketball presence. You think about the days of, and you definitely were a part of this era of the Chicago versus New York, those battles.
Oh yeah,
right. You know what I mean? The Californias, they popped in there to LA, right, in Texas, and you know I think that there's something about that era of basketball that current basketball players have lost. We don't have that no more, and I probably because of
to add to that. But that just remember, we were the beginning of AAU basketball.
That's what I was about to say.
Like, that was crazy.
That's
like,
when stuff happened.
That's where AAU. So now you had to go play with the Larry Butlers, or you had to go play with down the line with the Tyrone Slaughters. It was those type of coaches that would actually give us the opportunity to get outside our neighborhoods.
So I got to stop here because I want to get to that AAU conversation.
Okay.
But right before then, you know, Simeon, huge basketball program. What made you decide to go to Simeon, or was it your decision? Was it the family decision? Was it?
It was my parents. It was my parents. The crazy part, my dad went to Carver, and he was like, well, you know, I think you probably won't be as focused because you're with your friends. But now we have an opportunity to actually enhance you to even get to college. And so he was like, nah, I'm not going to let you go there. But there was a whole lot that came before that.
Okay.
So actually, as I said, elementary, undefeated the whole year. And we thought that our elementary school coach was going to get the high school job.
Okay.
He didn't get it. He ended up going to King to coach with Atlanta Cox. So now, as I mentioned in the beginning of the story, I grew up in 39 Lake Park, 44-14. Like, that's right. King was right there. So, like, I was in the building. So now he like, we on the south side. Like, no, you're not going to be traveling that far every day.
Wow.
And so decided, like, you know, you're going to go to Simeon. But actually, you know what? I'm kind of happy that I did do that.
Yeah. Clearly.
It gave me a different insight of what the world resolved about.
Yeah. Because I'm sure the stories about Coach Cox and King High School and what they did, you know, years before, I mean, they were such a powerhouse. And then kind of the turn of the tide started to shift down to the south side and what was going on. And, of course, many other schools in the Whitney Youngs in the areas. But, you know, that's what it was there. Something you mentioned, so I want to get back to is when we talk about AAU ball. What was that? You were at the beginning of AAU. It was travel teams. You were all over. What was that? Was that when you finally realized, like, hey, I'm really in the mix with the best players in the country?
Yeah, because I never seen nobody 6'11" or 7 feet at 12, 13 years old.
Right.
It's like the game is bigger than what we actually see every day. And so giving us that opportunity, taking kids out of the neighborhood, even out of Chicago, that never left their neighborhood. That was a hell of an experience.
Yeah. During that time, who were some of your favorites that you either played with, AAU ball in high school, or who you played against that was just like, hey, this motherfucker can go?
Well, you know what? It's okay. One team I will never forget is the Atlanta Celtics.
Yeah.
It's the Atlanta Celtics. So it was, but like teammates, our team was majority of the Whitney Young team in '98. Q, Cordell.
You played
Corey
with Butler.
Ball. Yeah, we played with Butler. Yeah.
Shout out
so
to
most of those guys was because we all the same age. So now we're going to pick the best out of Chicago to go and play somewhere else. And I was like, these motherfucking Atlanta Celtics, everybody's 6'8", 6'8",
man,
6'7", 6'3" point guard. I'm like, man, Cordell 5'8". I'm like,
we had dogs on the team. It ain't nothing to take away, but I remember Atlanta, they was just pumping out players, and we just like. And, of course, this is later on down the road because I want to say Dwight Howard played for Atlanta Celtics. This is years after. It was probably 2 years after me, but we was looking at him like, this team is stacked. Like, they was playing up, and that team is stacked, and yet we had guys. But, y'all had some dogs. I'll never forget watching y'all.
I said, man, listen, if we got to complete and play this hard in the summertime, just imagine what it looked like when you get to college.
Man, Man.
Imagine what it look like you can get to college, because now it's top tier talent all over.
Yep. All over.
So now you competing against everybody.
Yep. So that was like your first glimpse of what college basketball, what that next level was going to look like.
Yeah, so now, you're going to put some muscle on. You knew what you had to do.
Right.
You knew what you was comparing yourself up against.
Right. All right, so basketball, graduated, Simeon, did you guys get any state championships?
No.
Okay, missed out on those. Did you, so at that point you're being recruited, you're playing with one of the best top tier AAU programs in Illinois Warriors, playing with some of the top elite players as well. You decided to choose DePaul. Mm-hmm. What were the other schools that you had in the mix that you was like, all right, I'm weighing these options? You stayed local.
Well, the crazy part is I played USA that summer.
Yep, okay.
Under Jim Boeheim.
Oh, wow, okay.
And so we won the gold. And it was something that he quoted in USA Today. Bobby Simmons is like a Scottie Pippen type player. Mm. I'm like, damn, Scottie Pippen in the NBA. I'm like, maybe he see something. Maybe he see something in me that I ain't really like figured out.
Yeah.
Because one, playing for the gold is like everything.
Right.
That USA basketball, that shit is you versus everybody.
Yeah.
And so like we competed, played hard. I had a hell of a list of teammates. Everybody made the NBA.
Yep.
It's crazy. Maybe one person.
Who all was on the team?
Boeheim team, we had Q, Zach, Drew Gooden, Nick Collison, Steve Blake. We had Joe Johnson. Man. We had the Brick House. I'm trying to remember everybody. We had the Brick House. We had a Brick House.
Wow. For that to be the team that you playing for Team USA with, before you go to college, you got Maryland, you got DePaul, you got Michigan State with Zach, you got Arkansas. Yeah.
You got.
Well, nobody want none of that smoke in the world with that one.
No, that was a hell of a team, man. I said, I go back and I look at some of the medals, and like you said, you got your memorabilia out in the house, and I just look at it. So now my nieces and nephews and my son, they look at it like, okay, now I understand what he's talking about.
Yeah, that's something you can't take away. The value, the lessons that you had, the memories of playing against the world's best with a group of guys that you rock with, and now you actually get to put that on display for the next generation, the future.
So even if you recall, so now he brought it up to me one day when we went to see Big 3.
Okay.
And Joe was still playing.
Yep, sure was.
He was like, Dad, isn't that the guy on the picture? I said, yeah, that's him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So now he's starting to put it together.
Yeah, he putting it together. And he's seeing them little glimpses like, I remember seeing you. I know you somewhere, but we going to figure that out. No, that's what's up. I mean, so like you said, AAU did in the Olympics, and then did you, after that, after what Boeheim said, you were just like, hey, play
that
like
was
Scottie.
that was one of my teams, but I always wanted to play for John Thompson.
Man, listen.
I always wanted to play for John Thompson.
Likewise.
I always wanted to play for the big fella, man. Okay. So it was Syracuse, Georgetown, what is his name? It was one more school. I think it was Maine.
Okay.
And DePaul. But the crazy part is that last year of our AAU, when we get to play out, Tracy Dildy was at every game.
Okay.
He was at every game.
So he was
at every game. So he was like, hey, but then again, he was cool with my oldest brother.
Okay.
And he was like, hey, man, we want your brother, man. And he was at I don't care what time that game was, he was there. And I was like, man, so okay. When it got to the point of making a decision, myself, Q, and Lance, again, here we go.
Right.
Lance signed first. Now they calling me every night.
Yeah.
Bobby, what you gonna do, man? I said, man, I don't know yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
So now everybody's like, okay, well, we're gonna wait. So then I had my press conference, and then I let them know, okay, I'm gonna commit to DePaul University. So now it's me and Lance. So now we on Q. Q always want to be last to do everything.
Of course, right.
So now
shout out to the knuckleheads, right?
Shout out to the knuckleheads.
Right.
So he had his press conference at Green Dolphin. So once he announced that,
okay,
it just seemed like the world just paused, bro.
Everybody was waiting on that pause. Like
everybody was waiting to see what he was going to do.
Still the big three. We need that third. The big three ain't.
Hey, we got to close the gap. We got to close the gap. And so, like, even for us coming in as freshmen, I've never seen so much excitement in 1 year.
Yeah. I remember being in high school, and that was like going to watch y'all play. That was a thing to do. Like, yeah, the Bulls were still rocking. They were doing what, but it was like, no, DePaul, they got something going on over there. Like, them boys is rocking. They, people was wearing the headband, they had the big jersey, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all was out there hooping. It was just like, you looking at 6'8", you looking at 6'6", like, and this Big East basketball, you know what I'm saying? Like, that I'm sure practices, games, everything was
man, I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah, that's all.
And the crazy part is that we started a trend in Chicago that we really need to get back to and keep our kids home.
Yep.
So we support our talent here, and I think that they have the best supporting cast from the entire city, not just neighborhoods.
Yep.
Because, like you said, we're going to push for them to be the best, and we pour into them. Yep. That's the best part about it. We pour into them. So, like, even at Simeon, Kendrick Nunn, Jabari Parker.
Yep.
You had Zach Novell.
Yep.
You have Taylor Horton-Tucker. Mm-hmm. You have, I can keep going on and on.
Yep. And that's just on the guys side. You still even got on the girls side. You got Anissa that's playing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Anissa Morrow's playing at LSU.
Yep.
Most definitely going to be a WNBA player.
Yeah.
She broke the record at DePaul.
I hate it. I hate it when she left. But
I said, wow.
Yeah, she got in, got to DePaul, she broke the record. I was like, man, I hate that she leaving, but I understand the landscape right now. It's way more enticing to get to the next spot.
But I think it's the next spot, but not only that, just having more opportunity.
Right.
Because now you can be stagnant a little bit.
Yep.
You're going to do what you're going to do. But now, is it the best situation for me?
Right.
And now, the players now got a hell of a lot more options.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. And a part of those options, you got NIL money on top of it.
Oh, my God.
Here's my question, because I find it interesting. If NIL, naming, imaging, and likeness, was a part of college basketball during your era,
it's no limit.
Would that have persuaded you from still going to DePaul?
Hell no, I'd have stayed here. I would have stayed here. This is one of the largest cities.
Yeah.
I would have stayed here. It's unlimited.
It's unlimited. People don't realize what you have when it comes to these big cities, especially Chicago. You got so many brands, companies here already.
Oh, man.
You got all the teams here. You got so much from a sports industry standpoint. The opportunity, like you said, is endless.
It's endless.
It's endless.
I wouldn't care what business is, what brand. At this point, hey, NIL money is coming in.
For sure. All right, so you spent, obviously you three were there. Then it was slowly, the 4 years were coming to an end, shorter for some people. When did you realize, when you hit that moment and DePaul was like, all right, it's time to go ahead and put my name in the hat and get to the NBA?
Well, I was going to leave as a sophomore.
Okay.
But unfortunately, it was. I just had my son.
Okay.
And he real little.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I might need a little more time. So Paul left, Q left. Then going into my junior year, we played well. We made I think we almost made NCAA. We made NIT.
Yep.
And I was like, you know what? I'm ready.
Yeah. What was a moment that hit you of like this is like? Was it somebody you played against in college? You was like, hey, man, or you know how sometimes you get that because you kind of like become a hunter when you're playing. You paying attention to who up next, who guarding you. You want to go at them and you want to destroy that person. You want to kill them. You know what I mean? That's the mentality.
But that been the mentality since day one. So I think it was the law of averages. Okay. Freshman, sophomore year, we led the league in double-doubles. My junior year, I had the most double-doubles.
Yep.
And I'm like, how sometimes guys stay too long?
Yeah.
And then they be like, their stock drop. I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm out of here. Hey, after this, I'm out of here. I'm done. I'm out of here.
I got you. So you went on ahead, ended that chapter. Now you moved on. Now it's your time heading into the NBA. Draft night comes. What's that experience for you as you head into this new chapter where you're basically going from a college athlete to now it's a business? So what is it like for you when you're preparation, draft camp? Take me through that journey that you had.
I'm gonna give you some nuggets. So normally when guys enter the draft, they stop going to class.
Yeah.
Stop going. I'm going to the draft. I'm not going to class.
Don't need none of this no more.
So my strategy was I'm gonna go back to school since we almost done with the quarter anyway.
Yep.
I'm gonna finish it out.
Okay.
So I was going to school during the day, and I started training with Tim Grover.
Man, Grover.
So now the thing is that I got class all day. I'm training. 5 days a week. It was 5 days a week.
Wow.
So it's 5 days a week, and then sometimes we will hoop on Saturdays.
Okay.
But I did that throughout the rest of the quarter. And so at the time, me not knowing, but Michael Jordan was coming back in 2001.
The 4-5 came back, huh?
The 4-5, 23.
To the 23.
Came back. And so we was always crossing paths.
Okay.
But
probably
unfortunately,
working out with Grover.
He started working back out with Tim.
Yep.
And so it's just weird how God put things in mysterious ways, I swear. And so it was almost like he was watching everything I did. Because I showed up. You say show up, what time? Shit, I'm there early.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how you build a rapport with somebody when you really never have met them and they just perceive you to be a certain way.
Yep.
And over time, it was like, okay, well, so now we playing 5-on-5 because we'll work out. Once we were done with school, we'll work out in the morning and we'll play in the evenings.
Yep.
But he always picked me. I want Bobby on my team.
Oh, he saw something.
So he had to see something.
He saw something.
So I'm like,
just like Coach Evans back then.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's crazy, but like you said, always having a work ethic and always want to win.
Yeah,
that's been our drive from the beginning of time. So now it comes to speed it up a little bit. Now, draft night.
Yeah,
I'm on 79th Avenue. I didn't go to New York.
Okay,
and it was like, okay, I'm watching everybody get picked. But at the time, this is when the high school guys,
they were finally starting to jump in.
They was finally starting to jump in.
Yeah,
so now everybody started to slide, slide. So I'm like, okay, I got a list because I'm going to destroy.
Yep.
Don't worry about it. I got a list of them. I got a long laundry list of them.
It seemed like everybody got that list.
I probably been on somebody's list too. I wouldn't give a hell. Hey, but unfortunately, that's the mentality you have to play at that level.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching. It gets to the second round.
Okay.
30, 31, 32. Speed it up. Now we get to 40. Now, I'm at somebody's house that I don't get phone calls there.
Yeah. You don't never get no phone calls.
I don't never get no phone calls there. I had my next tail.
Right, you gotta have the next tail.
I had my next tail with the chirp.
The sidekick in the other pocket. Yeah, I remember them days.
I had my next tail. I'm like, well, okay.
So the house phone didn't run.
The house phone run.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So now I'm like, ring. My uncle answered the phone. Hello? Hey, Bobby Simmons there. I'm like, okay.
They had the Nextel phone number and the chirp probably, but
but they called the house phone. How you get the house phone number?
And you don't even.
And I don't get no calls then.
Wow.
So now I'm like, okay. I'm still watching TV. So now they bring me the phone. I'm like, hello? Who's this? This Mike. Mike who? Mike Jordan. He said, congratulations. We picking you next.
Wow. Wow.
I look at the phone, I hung that motherfucker up. I'm sitting up. It says the Seattle Supersonics selects Bobby Simmons from DePaul University. I'm like, shit. I'll give me a raincoat.
Right.
I'm good. I don't care.
You already thinking like we going this way.
But I'm just thinking like, okay, you get drafted to Seattle. Shit, I don't give a fuck where I go.
Right.
My name got picked. I got an opportunity to get in, get my foot in the door.
You figured out after that.
2 picks later, the rights to I can't think of his name. He was a foreign player. It's been traded to the Washington Wizards for Bobby Simmons. I said, damn. The business of basketball. Like, that shit right there just taught me the business of basketball.
Yep. Your first day on the job.
First day on the job.
Oh, wow.
Wait, on the interview.
I'm about to say, you was in interview status.
I was being interviewed. Well, I ain't got the job yet, but
yeah.
I was like, man, this is crazy. But it was a hell of a feeling, man.
Man, I'm sure it was.
So I went and bought me some White Star champagne. That's all I could afford at the time.
Oh, man, that's good.
We partied it up.
Man, that's awesome. I mean, to get the GOAT, MJ, to get him on the phone calling you and like, yeah, we going, you get the Wizards, you see the business behind it. Like, there's so much even to unpack there. I do want to ask this, though. You talked about your hit list of the people who was up. Who was your top 3 that was on your hit list that you was like, yeah, I need to go.
Well, my thing was, it was the guys that, because when I got drafted, for 6'8" guys, it wasn't really a position.
Oh, right.
They called us tweeners.
Right.
So I'm like, I've been dribbling, pulling up, shooting, handling the ball my whole life. Yeah. Just because we ran offense in college and y'all never got the opportunity to see that, don't mean I can't do it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was the guys I destroyed in all workouts. Yep. The Shane Battiers, the Brian Scalabrinis, and it was man, it's a whole lot of them.
I got you. Man.
It was a whole lot of them.
I got you. Man, that's a tough list there. But that's great that you actually had that list and ready to go. Somebody that you spoke on, the great Tim Grover, you worked out with him, you go to class, you go work out with him, MJ. You hear, being here, a part of the Chicago basketball community, you heard about or were a part of all the classic summers that took place here in the city of Chicago after, you'd enter the league. MJ would go to shoot Space Jam, come back, you come to the gym, people like yourself, Antoine Walker over at IIT, you had the Pro-Am, you had the old hoops, the gym, you had Joe Johnson, like you said, you had Mike Finley, you had Jawan, Sean Marion, Paul, like
listen,
Q, Darius.
Every veteran brought their rookies to Chicago.
And that's
Ray Allen. Like we had, man, it was so many NBA players here.
So what do those workouts look like? Because it's like not everybody is privy to what happened inside those walls. Was it just you rolling the ball out there, pick your 5, I'm gonna pick my 5 and we going? Or is it like we gonna get shots up, we gonna get some skill work in?
Oh no, we hooping.
All summer long.
Nah, we hooping. It's all hooping.
Just bragging rights and
talking shit.
Yep.
Hey, they gonna see you tomorrow.
Yep. And we back at it again.
Man,
I'm sure there was some epic battles in there.
It was unbelievable.
I believe it. Man, somebody need to tell that story. I might even start a documentary on that.
Man.
Somebody got to have some video somewhere.
No. If they did, they probably got it on their phone.
Right.
Because there wasn't no cameras in there.
That is true.
There wasn't no cameras.
That's true. All right, so enter the league. You're finally in there. You get to the Wizards. What was the toughest thing as a rookie that you had to deal with coming in, not only just on court, but also learning the business? Because you in D.C. at that point.
Yeah, well, I think it's more so of understand the process.
Yeah.
And what it takes to get on the floor, from my perspective.
Yep.
It was the extra work. Larry Drew, hell of a coach, still coaching with Tyronn Lue right now.
Okay.
Was one of the guys who walked me through that. You know what I mean? So I asked a shitload of questions.
Yeah.
Coach, what should I be doing? I want to get on the play. I want to get on the floor. Okay, hey, come on, let's just get this extra work in.
Yep.
And I was an extra work type nigga. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'll run through the wall.
Yep.
Extra work, I get more reps. So now, whenever you put me in the game, I know my exactly go to.
You know where you going.
Exactly go to.
Uh-huh. You know exactly what it was. So what's it like? Because you were there with MJ played there with the Wizards with you, right?
Yeah, Kwame was number one pick.
Kwame was the number 1 pick. So you played with a MJ, I'm still that dude, even after coming back, and he's still going to put up 40. What's practice look like against him? Because you hear every now and again, MJ come, we was Charlotte Bobcats, but because I can only imagine he the one that's kind of running the team almost. You know what I'm saying?
No, but the thing is, he let Doug Collins run.
Oh, he let Doug run it? Okay.
Let Doug run it. But unfortunately, if he had something to say, he's going to say what he's going to say. But now we had Rip, Courtney Alexander, Brenda Haywood, Kwame. We had Popeye Jones, Christian Laettner, Chris Whitney. We had Jahidi White. We had Hubert Davis. Yeah, like we had some guys.
Yeah.
And guys was really getting after it.
Yeah.
Ron Cardinal was on that team too.
Yeah.
Ron Cardinal?
Yep. Yeah, BC was on there too.
Oh yeah. See,
So it was and I laugh at this now that you say that. Popeye used to call me Big Draws. He said Big Draws. They call me, man, you play like Mark Aguirre, man. I said, no, I'm going where I know I'm going to score the ball.
Right.
Give me the ball, get the hell out of my way.
Right.
Because I was like, man, listen, y'all put me in a minute and a half, I'm going to give me 4 points.
Hey,
I'm giving me 4 to 6 points. If it's 2 and 1s or I knock one down, I'm going to the basket. Hey, somebody going to foul me. Hey, I got to figure this shit out.
You get into the rim, you're going to figure it out.
You got to figure it out.
And they let you understand. That's awesome, man. You playing with a group of guys that also help instill you and grow, help you mature your game and your level of pace.
And that's what I don't really like about the NBA now.
Yeah.
Is that they want the league to be younger, but how knowledgeable are these guys going to be about the experience, the things they're going to face?
Yep.
Prior to, you know what, hey, Rook, sleep nights. Don't be up all night playing the game or hanging out or whatever it is you're doing. You know what I mean? So, like, that veteran in the locker room was very, very important when it came to guys that just didn't know.
Yep. People, that's all they knew was just, I know how to hoop, but they don't know
I know how to hoop, but you only practice 4 hours a day. So what you going to do with the other 20?
You're either going to be partying or you ain't going to be on the bench. So you're going to have to figure it out. And that, like you're saying, that's where the OGs, that's where the vets help navigate and say, all right, get you some rest. We're going to get up at this time, get a little shot up. And
we even had Breakfast Club.
Okay.
Like we had the Breakfast Club. Hey, we get up 6 a.m.
And get
we in there working.
In the work. Yeah.
After that, go to practice or shoot around, come back, get your rest, play the game, and get to the next place.
Get to the next place. That's the journey. I love
structure. It's like everybody got to have some type of structure when you get to that space.
Absolutely, for sure. One of the things that I definitely want to know. So, like we talk about the business of the game, the business of the NBA basketball in general. So you were there with the Wizards. What was the next spot that you had to hit? 'Cause you played for several other teams after.
Clippers.
You hit the Clippers was next. So you got out there. Was that one with Lamar and Q? That was right before.
Lamar wasn't there. Lamar had went to Miami, I think.
Okay.
And Darius had went to Cleveland.
He went to Cleveland. Okay. They left. So you still had guys that were still going.
So we had Q was still there.
Yep.
Keon Doolin.
Yep.
We had Elton, Chris Wilcox, Melvin Eli. At one point, we had Rick Brunson.
Oh, wow.
Doug Overton.
Oh, wow.
We had, oh, man, I'm missing so many guys.
That one back when, who else was, Sean Livingston wasn't back with you.
Sean Livingston was my rookie.
Oh, that was your rookie?
That was my rook.
Oh, wow. Sean was a couple years younger than me when he went out. Man, when I tell you in high school, Sean used to destroy people. He would destroy people. But he was a 6'7" guard with a big afro. And that was him. We just like, you down here in Peoria killing everybody like this? Like, hold on, we ain't about to do all of that. We played them, but hey, Sean had game. And he was fun to watch. He was fun to watch for sure.
Pure talent, man, coming in.
Yeah, y'all had some nice talent that just knew how to play. Now, as far as putting it all together, it's different. Because you got to have the structure.
We was young.
Yeah, yeah.
But at that point, playing in LA was more so a running game anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
So we can compete with anybody.
Yeah, you just running. Get up.
We just running, and we're gonna run his outfits on the fly. Mike Dunleavy was a hell of a coach.
Okay.
I will say that.
Okay.
Because he's a street baller.
Yep.
And he knew, okay, well, we're gonna put these pieces on the floor together, and we know what to run and how to make the magnitude of all this shit come together at once.
Yep. I got you. So then you ended your career slowly after that. Well, I mean, not slow because that was you 12 years in. Y'all played.
Mm-hmm.
You played with some of the best. What was probably your best year that you felt like that you was just rolling and you just at that point in time you knew what you was doing. You was like, I'm getting my spot.
My second year with the Clippers.
Second year with the Clippers.
That's the year I won Most Improved.
Oh, okay. So them accolades you got, Most Improved. Probably found yourself in the corner just knocking down that corner jumper.
Man, just throw it over there. I got you.
Yep. Oh, that's awesome. I mean, you got the accolades to go with it, Most Improved Player, and you're competing against, I guess, who was the best player during your era when you were playing in Most Improved?
Well, the guys on the list was D. Wade, Tayshaun Prince. You had, I'm trying to think exactly who the list was. Those two for sure. I know was on the list.
Was Dirk still out there?
Dirk was playing.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was about 4 or 5 guys on that list.
On that list.
For the year that I won.
I got you. Man, that's such a great thing to just hear what it took to get you to that point. But that was the year, your second year with the Clippers. You knew, like, hey, I know I'm rolling now. Body felt good. Because it's strength. You guys playing so many games.
And it was my contract year.
Oh, yeah, so you had to score.
Hey, I was cheesing like a motherfucker.
You said it's time to get to the bag, get right to it. Which agency group did you work with at the time?
At the time, I was with Bartleston.
Oh, you was Bartleston? Okay, got you. All right, so you're coming into the end of your career. Did you know already about what you were looking to do in the next phase, or like how did you start to figure out, okay, what am I going to do after this? Like, where did your mind start going when you were like, okay, I'm getting hurt, I got an injury here, whatever? Like, where did your mind go at that space?
Well, actually, having that injury made me think of that because it was a rare foot injury that it was a multitude of doctors I had to go see to try to figure out what exactly was wrong. At that time, we had the big outbreak of the plantar fasciitis.
Yep.
And so it was like, well, is it the shoes? Is it an orthotic? Or is it anything that we can do to try to fix it?
Yeah.
And I went to like 4 or 5 doctors. I went to Indianapolis. I went to Charlotte. I went to Arkansas.
Yeah.
I went to Florida. I went to all these places to try to figure it out. But big shout out to Scoy Medical in LA.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, they figured it out.
Got you. And they got you right.
They got me right.
They got you right. So in that space, did you have somebody that you were able to call or who was a mentor or like one of your vets, your OGs, to be like, all right, here's some things I want you to start thinking about post your career? Or was there even like, I don't even know, did the NBA even have anything in place for you to start thinking about your career after the game?
They had things in place, but it wasn't to the magnitude of the lane that I went in.
Okay.
And unfortunately, like you said, being a Brand Jordan athlete, I had so many PEs, many shoes and clothes and stuff everywhere. I'm not playing the whole year, so it's just piling. And I'm like, man, okay. That summer, I had met my partner, Lavelle.
Okay, yep.
Lavelle Sykes at Self-Conscious. He was working on Lake Street at Self-Conscious. Because I used to shop with him when I was in college. Okay. So I always call, what you got, this, that, and the other. Yep. And that store was closing down.
Yep.
And I was like, well, I got a lot of shoes that I know I'm probably not going to wear. Right. And unfortunately, I can't wear them all.
Right.
I was like, teach me a little bit about the sneaker business.
Okay.
So as he taught me some of the information of what it takes and ordering and this, that, and the other, I started asking the reps that I knew that represented the players
in
the NBA. because you know everybody has their own rep,
Yep.
and they always around.
Yep.
At the time, I was working with Nico Harrison.
Yep.
In
Nico,
LA.
Now the GM of
The GM of
Mavs right
Dallas
now.
Mavericks. Yeah. So like you said, the resources and relationships,
Yep.
man, go a long way. And I started to understand it. So now I started doing my own research.
Yep.
And now, okay, well, that's when I got into real estate.
Okay.
So first of all, that's why I said, like, your location is key.
Yep.
When it comes to opening businesses
Yeah.
and things like that.
Okay. Now we definitely gonna tap into that. But shout out to Nico. That's my man. He was
sir.
my OG when I was at Nike, in the Jordan. So shout out, he doing this thing down there. Kind of want to hit something right before we get back to it. Is when you were at the end of that career, you're making a decision. You finally decided to hang up the shoes. You were dealing with the foot injury. It had you thinking about it. Who were those important mentors or mentees, mentors that you had that were kind of helping you navigate the end of your career?
End of my career, shout out to Dr. Lloyd Walton. Was one of them because I have went to a multitude of programs.
Okay.
That they did put on for players.
Okay.
To try to figure out exactly what space I wanted to go into. And shit, Mike. I will call
MJ.
Mike. I will call MJ. Hey,
Man.
I need your help. I need your leadership.
Your
I
guidance,
need your mentorship.
everything.
Your
Yep.
guys, everything.
Man, shout out MJ.
Because he's done
That man.
he's done it.
Yeah.
Like, why you wouldn't go to the people who actually done it?
Wrote the book, so he got it. Speaking of that, let me hit on this because, Jordan Brand athlete, one of the very first ones when he was, how did that conversation happen? Was that just based off of the relationship you had from back when you was in DePaul and, you was working out with Grover and he just happened to say, hey, I want you to come over here with Jordan Brand? Or?
It was kind of like spur of the moment. He was like, hey, Bobby, I got shoes for you.
Oh.
I got shoes for you.
He was just planting the seed in there like, yeah, I got something for you.
I got it for you.
He threw the 21 on the tongue.
Oh, my God. Hey.
And this was before you was even an official Jordan Brand athlete. And then who gave you that phone call?
I was playing with all the retros.
Oh, wow.
Because we remember at the time he only played in retros.
He only played in retros. You're
Only
right.
played in retros.
Oh, man.
So the collection was crazy.
Yeah, 9, 11, 12, man, jeez.
So all my basketball cards, I'm in all retro.
Yeah, that's a time. That's a time, man.
I said, man, hey, listen.
Keep sending them, huh?
Hey, I'd be like, Charlie Butler, I need another pair.
Yep, exactly. No, I love it, man. That's really dope to just see the growth and the progression of not only being an athlete, but also seeing the business, being a Jordan Brand athlete, all of those things. That just pulls so much in together. Now I kind of want to transition into where we at in your second half, right? Mm-hmm. So you left the game in the NBA. I don't even say left it. You're still a part of the league and you're still doing things. But then it became the time, like you said, you started hitting Lavelle, Sykes. You started hitting MJ. You started trying to figure out the real estate of what that looked like. Tell me about what that looked like for you, of where you even started, because not many people know how to sit down, ask questions of people. Like, where did you start that conversation for yourself so you could figure out what was next?
I started while I was doing the programs with the NBA.
Okay.
The NBA Players Association originally. And from the knowledge of actually understanding how real estate works, that's the first thing I started was real estate.
Real estate, okay.
So I started purchasing houses and then Section 8ing them.
Okay.
So actually, like you said, you will see the money coming in and then basically rolling it over to get another property, get another property, get another property, things like that. And from where I grew up, everybody wanted a house.
Yeah.
So
they just know how to get to
They
it.
just know how to get to it. They didn't know nothing about credit, financial literacy, none of that.
Yep.
So now it was my nonprofit. It was Rising Star Foundation. I did have financial literacy.
Okay.
And as well as I did sponsor scholarships for kids to go to college.
Yep.
And from there, it was just a matter of structuring the real estate portion of it.
Yep.
And then now swinging it over into the sneaker business.
I got you. So you're just pulling in both your passion for sneakers, your passion for Jordans, into the real estate, knowing that those two were the two things
That's gonna go together.
and they go together, and you put it in the right spot. And so, was success right there on Michigan? Was that the first venture you had with footwear with the sneaker shop?
The first one.
That was the first one.
We was on 1329 South Michigan. We was on
13th
13th.
Michigan. Okay, so you was right there, classic spot. Truly a spot you hit when you come into the city, and then you guys just moved just south. Was there a reason why you made the move, or was it a business reason?
Real estate.
Real estate?
Yeah.
Better
So
opportunity.
basically, it came into the lease.
Yep.
And we negotiated. So we always negotiate first rights of refusal.
Yep.
And the building didn't have any air rights because of the high-rise buildings on the left and right of it. So now we want to negotiate
Yeah.
a better price.
Yeah.
And so we can't build up. We can't put nothing upstairs.
Yep.
And there's 2 floors.
Okay.
But unfortunately, there's no windows, only on the lower level.
Okay.
So how can we market our business
If you can't.
if you can't really let people see exactly what's in there?
Yep. Yep.
And so from there, we negotiated. We couldn't come to a common ground
Yeah.
on what the price would be.
Okay.
So unfortunately, we ended the lease and just moved up the street and built from scratch.
Okay. I started all over.
Because you already know, working with Nike, you have to you have to redo your store.
Restructure
You have to
everything.
restructure everything.
Yep.
And so I was like, well, let's just start new.
Yep, absolutely. So you started new. Did you have to start with, when you think about business, did you have to start with like a business plan or anything that you had to kind of create, or did you just kind of just tooth and nail it and just figure it out along the way?
Business plan. Most definitely a business plan.
So that was kind of like your
That's the nuts and bolts.
document that just help everything going.
That's the nuts and bolts. Because now that's your blueprint.
Yeah.
Because now, depending on, like you said, you have your CAM, you have your lease, you have, your rental fee. Like, you have to plan that out.
Yeah.
So you'll know within that 5 year what your profits and losses going to look like.
Yep. Yep. Got to look at that P&L statement to make sure
Gotta
you're
do
on
it.
point. Because if you come in and be like, yeah, you done lost
We
more than
robbing
you.
Peter to pay Paul.
Right. You say you're gonna rob Peter to pay Paul. That ain't what we're doing. Now, how important is we talk about something you said, financial literacy and credit and people in Section 8 and those things. How important is that to even understand that, even in the business space that you were? Like, who kind of helped you understand that? Was it the MBPA? Was it still sitting there, or did you kind of learn that on your own?
I think from my financial advisor first.
Okay.
And like you said, just hanging around. Like, I don't want to be the elephant in the room. I want to be the person that know the elephant in the room.
Yep.
And so I want to ask questions. I got mentors.
Yep.
And so if I don't know, I ask.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that, I had to learn about business credit.
Yep.
Opposed to always signing and PGN, as they say, personal guarantee and everything.
Yeah.
Just because you got the money don't mean you have to use your own money.
Use your own money. Yeah.
And people don't understand that.
You learn a lot by sitting and talking to people, because myself personally, I just went through that. I was like, why am I spending my own money when I can go ahead and borrow, or somebody else will lend me to use their money to pay what I'm trying to get and then receive.
The best part about it is that Antoine Walker said it best. He said, if I would have known, I would be okay. We said, I'm okay, but I would be a lot better when it came to the fact that he invested a lot of his portfolio in real estate, but then the market crashed.
The market crash. He didn't have the protection or any understanding of even how to structure that.
Exactly.
And that's when everything hit.
Exactly. So now it's just looking forward. You'd be like, well, okay.
Yep.
Now I got the deeds to all these properties.
Yep.
It's getting, it's growing. The market value is always going up.
Yep.
For the most part right now, because the interest rates are high.
The interest rates hot. Man, it's so
The
high.
interest rates high.
They high.
So now why not pull from a property that you know is already paid off, and then buy more property
Put
to
the
pay
equity into that.
and then pay, yeah.
And pay it back with that money that you just made, and now
You ain't got to touch it.
You ain't got to touch none of it. Yeah, that makes sense. So when you first started with your real estate, how many properties did you first start off with?
5.
You started off with 5, and you just managed those.
I
You
bought
did some
5.
Section
I
8.
bought 5 HUD properties cash.
Okay,
I bought 5 HUD properties cash.
okay, I got you. That makes sense. Okay, then so now you've grown. You got the sneaker boutique. You got success. Then where did you end up taking it? Because entrepreneur spirit don't just die. You know what I mean? Once you get that, it seems like it becomes like that chase, like you did in basketball, right? It's like, hold on, I just got to win. I got to go get another win. What? I'm 2 for 2 from the field. All right, let me go get another one. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kept you enticed in? Where did you end up going next?
Because I dibble and dabble in the private equity space a little bit.
Okay.
And that's where the big boys play. And so, you know what I mean? I'm like, listen, I'm conservative when it comes to really like just throwing your money out there and not waiting to see for it to come back. But I have a lot of friends in the private equity space, and I ask a shitload of questions, and they just give me the information.
Yeah, they're willing to do that.
They're willing to
when
get
you talk to them.
They are my friends.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'd be like, hey, how do you do that? They signing $200, $300 million deals. I said, man, I ain't in the NBA, man, but hey, let me know how that go, man. Like, I want to know.
You know, it's kind of like, you know, when you think about property, because I'm still learning more and more about it, but even if I go to like stocks, right? A lot of people are like, oh, the stock it's worth $300,000. People don't realize that you don't need the whole 300 to buy that one share of stock. If I just want to put $15 into the stock and let that even though it's in the 300, but if it grow
50 cent in vitamin water, Nas and the ring doorbell.
Man, listen.
It take one.
That's
I'll
it.
do it. It take one. All it takes is one.
Just one. Let it hit and go.
Hit and go. Man, this man got the studios and everything going up.
Man, listen. Vitamin water. I know he just you're right. He just built the set down there for all his shows, which is crazy.
G Unit Studio. I said, Lord have mercy. I love it though.
Yeah, but like you said, you don't know what you don't know, and people, I think, especially in our communities, they don't have access to the resources and understanding. And that's what this podcast is about, because I think, one, there's not only just the community and the following, the people who know who you are, they're like, yes, okay, that's what I can do. I can chop it up with Bobby. I can chop it up with this person, or I can ask questions about this. But even beyond that, now it's like we giving people the blueprint through the podcast and the conversation so they can understand what it is to put forth, what you got to do to put forward, so you can go ahead and set these goals out, write your business plan, and go out here and get into real estate.
First of all, I want to thank y'all for the Second Half podcast, because now you think about it, how many people don't actually know who we are or how we did it? All they know is, oh, he played in the NBA.
That's it.
Or he owns this, and this. But they don't understand what it took to get there.
What it takes to get there, yeah. You got to understand, and the whole purpose of this podcast, honestly, it became a vision in my mind of like, this is a masterclass to answer the question why, right? Or now what? Because so many people, whether you make it to the league, whether you even make it to college, right? It's like, all right, my 4th year is about to complete. Now what? That's what this conversation is for, to be able to make sure that we can talk about what that is.
And on my daily routine, when you wake up in the morning, before you get ready to leave your house, what's your why?
What's your why? Man. Listen, I was about to ask you what's your best advice that you can give, but honestly,
that's it.
That's it right there.
That's it. What's your why?
That's it. What's your why? Well, look, I'm not gonna hold you too much. One, let us know where people can follow you and stay in tune with you if they want to even ask questions post the podcast.
Well, my IG is success SUCCEZZ, as you see.
Yep.
_ You can follow me there.
Yep.
For the most part.
And then you got not only to continue on, you still got the club and all of those things as well. That's
Society is still going good.
Yeah, still rolling.
Yeah, still rolling.
Man, I love it.
And you'll see me in the neighborhood near you.
Yes, sir. Well, look, really appreciate you guys tuning in to the Second Half podcast. My big brother, Bobby Simmons, appreciate you, though, for being on. Root to the bros. Again, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button. Follow us on social media, and we out. Peace. Second Half podcast.